the Washington Redskins at the time, they didn't want to trade the 5th overall pick. They didn't want to do it. They probably wanted Ricky Williams or they wanted somebody for their own team. And Ditka just kept dumping shit. No, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. And he got to a deal. You're seriously going to give me the 12 overall, every pick in this draft, plus your first and third next year for one guy? They took it. So you want to know how this worked out? 2 years later, the Saints traded Ricky Williams. I think they fired Mike Ditka too. Like, this guy's out of his fucking mind. So that's what they did. This guy's out of his mind. They bought in on name only. They said, hey, man, he's a genius. We're just going to go. Nobody thinks this is smart. Nobody else in the organization bought into that one. I'm sure of it. But they let him do it because he's Mike Ditka, and then we learned right there that Mike Ditka's plumb crazy.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.
We completed today. I see some ass off the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drop, you're finished. Hey, first down. This is a weird kid, worse than that side.
All right, wave your flags, Jets fans. Wave your flags, they say. Every year we get a flag. Here's one of them. Oh, 1 year we got some towels. What do you think of this one? This is the one. Hey, hello. Is it good? Let me see. Yeah. All right. What's that on the side? Oh, that's the yard markers. All right. Well, hello, everybody. How we doing tonight? Welcome to the show. I am GreenBean. This is a little bit of an impromptu kind of a thing on a Monday evening because I wanted to hang. Last time I made a video on the way home from the game right around Baltimore. I've done that like 3 times. Like when I'm driving back and forth and I get online, I go live with you guys. For whatever reason, I get inspired to do so right around Baltimore. I've done that a few times. So I showed you guys the stadium and that kind of thing where sadly the game wasn't there, but geez, did the Ravens blow it, huh? Crazy. Here he is, Ricky. Ricky from New York in the house. Fun to say hello to Ricky. Who doesn't love Ricky, huh? Love it. I got the shirt. Wish I was wearing this shirt. I didn't think of it, Ricky. I'll wear it one of these weeks. But here we are. I'm GreenBean. Welcome to the Monday night after hours-y kind of thing. We are a few hours, 24, 29, 36 hours removed from the Jets season opener, a big loss in a big game where we had a big chance, right? Didn't we? We had a big, let me make sure I got the right camera on here. We had a big, nope, I don't. Let's put the nice one. I took it out. That's why. I took it out to go up. No, I gotta plug it back in. We had big hopes. We had big hopes. And, look, here's the truth, guys. It was a game in many ways that wasn't what we expected to see. Remember, we were making, you said jokes, but really serious. We were saying, take the under in this one. Dude, the over-under was what, 43 or something like that? They scored 66 points. Blew it out of the water. How about this? The Jets, for the first time in 214 years, didn't punt in the first half. Woo! All right. That's what we're talking about. 4, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive scoring drives to open the game. This is crazy. And you guys know the big deal is that this is the first time that little old GreenBean got to witness a live offensive touchdown since 2018. I know it doesn't sound like much, but, you know, look, I go to a game, at least a game every year, sometimes two. You know, I don't go to every game, so there's that, but I'm up there every year, not one touchdown. So we saw 4 of them. It's a crazy place. Crazy place, man. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. I want to add something here. So let me see if I can do it. I want to show you guys something. Hopefully I'm not frozen. Let me see. Let me see something. I want to show you guys something from the crowd. Okay. So here it is. So this is how we reacted. It's uploading now. So this is how we reacted when we got the first touchdown that we got to. Now, so listen to this. So it's not just me. You know, me, Ryan, Matt, Jeremy, who's been with us just about every year, Dom C the last couple, and then a lot of you guys too. You know, we've never together as a unit haven't seen a victory, and we haven't seen touchdowns. So this was us reacting to the score. You guys want to see it, Modine? Modine's like, grumpy. Well, you want to see it or what, Modine? You know what I mean? You gotta look, we're friends, right? We don't have to agree on everything, but we're friends. You could be happy for your friends. We were happy. So let's take a look. Hopefully the sound is here. Let me know if it's not. And if you like this video, Hell, you like what I did there? Here we go. What do you think of that? Could you guys hear it? Let me know if you can hear it. Show us the celebration, Mo said. It was a fucking good time, Modine. Now look, take off all the cynical bullshit, right? Like we've been hanging out for years now. And you are who you are, and we know your role, and it's all good, and we're all good with it. But take all the cynical bullshit away, division rivals, all that. Isn't that nice to see for us? Come on. You know how we suffer. Right? You can hear it, guys? Bean was hard. Could you guys hear it? Great celebrate. There you go, Mo. Tell me, hey, Mo, tell me you're happy for me that just say, hey, tell me that you're happy that I got to see a touchdown. All right, there it is. See, it's wonderful to see. This is what I want. I want Modine. Now tell me that I'm good looking and that my mother loves me. Tell me that, Mo. It's important. Yeah, infrared. Woo! All right. And look, so we're going to talk about some things. We're going to get into a couple of things. You know, I titled the video that Aaron Rodgers confirmed something. He drove something home. It exposed something. A couple of things. Some are very pertinent to the Jets, and one detail is even pertinent to him. You know? So before we get started with that, now that everybody's here, I want to just make sure, you know, I don't like to do things when not everybody's here. It's important that everybody's here. You know, you can do stuff. But then it's like, you know, if nobody's here and you got to do it again, right? So what I want to do, what the hell just happened? No, that's not what I wanted at all. What is going on? Everybody's crazy, man. All right. So here we go. Let me show you guys the thing. So, all right. So now that everybody's here, we're going to talk quickly about the amazing sponsor for this video. And it's great because I'm using Sleeper, everybody, for my fantasy league. And we're using it for the Talking Jets Pick'em League. And I love it. I love it. But here's what we're going to say. It's important that you guys know some information here about Sleeper. Like, look, a lot of people are using them. They're big. I didn't even pick my fantasy league. It just so happened that my league is using it. And I said, why aren't you using another one? They said, this one's the best. I said, okay. But here you go. You think you know football? Is that what you think? You think you know football? Then try to turn your football knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday, everybody. I like that. Just download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players with more stats than any other daily fantasy app. Just choose 2 or more of your favorite players from the pregame or live. Pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you could win up to 100 times your money if your picks win. I mean, it's important. You got to win. You got to pick the ones to win, like I didn't with the $1.8 billion lottery, or else I would have been freaking out. You guys would all know. I'd be like, dude, we got box seats forever. So you got to win. You can win up to 100 times your money if your picks win. Use the promo code GreenBean, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Double your money if you drop 100 in there. Nice, right? Terms and conditions apply. So, guys, I love it. Take advantage of it. Get the free hundo, man. If you're going to be getting involved in this stuff, having some fun, you might as well get that $100 match, and you can win up to 100 times your money. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Make sure to get your knowledge all around that stuff. And we thank Sleeper for hanging out with us this season. Guys, we got a super chat in the house. We're going to bring it up because it's Lou. Lou B, Super Jets fan. Sorry, walking in backwards only worked on touchdowns. It was great meeting you. That was an insane game. Lou, it really was great meeting you. Truly. And I got to say, aside from the game and the food, which was great, by the way, the food was amazing. I was really happy with the food. Okay. I always am at Tailgate Joe, but I was really happy this week. I thought it was fantastic. But that's all great. But my favorite part of this whole thing is meeting you guys. And some of you guys, it's seeing you again, because we don't get to see each other but the once a year, So it's just so great to get to meet you. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you, we walked in backwards. Me, Matt, and Ryan walked in that stadium backwards. I was going to try to walk all the way up, but it's not like if it was Giant Stadium. Remember Giant Stadium, guys? Where they had the 4 corners of the stadium. They had the turnstiles you could walk up, and then they had it very simple. You had 3 sections. You had lower tier, mezzanine, and upper tier. And they had an escalator for each one. Boom, boom, boom. If you're going to the mezzanine, get on this escalator, and it drops you off right at the damn mezzanine. Imagine that. And the 4 corners, you were never more than 5 sections away from your seats when you got up there. Unless you went in the wrong side, of course. But, that's what are you going to do? This stadium is ridiculous. It's like a whole thing. And then you got to walk all the way around. It was too much. But we did walk in backwards, which, Lou, did you know this? When I walked in back, I was walking in backwards, and somebody called me by my real name, which, not to say GreenBean isn't my real name, it is. But my old name, my mundane name. And I was like, what's that? And it was a guy. It was like one of my best friend's younger brothers, who I haven't seen him in like 10 years. He was there with his daughter. So I'm walking in backwards, and there's a guy. I just ran into him at the stadium. I haven't seen him in 10 years. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? So anyway, Lou, super great to see you, and thank you for the tip. It got us 4 times. It got us, dude, 32 points. And we'll talk about a few things, right? Like, I know, look, everybody's made a video. There's a million videos out there right now, right? Where everybody's saying the same shit. we're going to talk about Gibson, right? Yeah, we're talking about Gibson. We're talking about Brandon Stevens. We're talking about 2-point conversions. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers, right? We're talking about 14-point swings. Of course, we're talking about the penalties in the with like the Quincy penalty was a big one. What was another big one? That pass interference by Brandon Stevens, that was a big one, right? Well, let's get into first what the main subject is for this stream. Because again, we're talking about all that stuff. So I want to bring up another wrinkle for you. Right after we just point this out. Meadowland Swamp Thing. We're so starved for good offense. After seeing yesterday, I was so jazzed. I bought $300 worth of merch on Fanatics. Now, look, before I get in, Swamp Thing, I want to point something out. Now, we had, as a group, we had the bonus of going on the field after the game. But for the first time in our lives, it felt like, we're actually watching a game that's important. So in order to get that benefit, we had to leave and in the middle of the fourth quarter, toward the end of the fourth quarter, to get down there. And we didn't want to do it. So we asked the whole group, do you want to go? I said, if anybody wants to go, I'll go with you, Nobody wanted to go. But check it out, Meadowland Swamp Thing. I was so excited. What I wanted to do with everybody was throw a football around on the field, and I forgot to bring one. So I went into the damn Jet shop, and I bought an expensive, no, it wasn't too bad, but I didn't want to spend $35. I think this one was $30. It's cool ball, right? It's nice. Right? You got the NFL logo there. You got the Jets logo there. You got this one over here. But we were going to throw this around. But again, just like you, I got all excited, so I bought Jets merch. I don't want to buy Jets merch until they win. I don't want to do it. Where should I put this thing? If I put it there, it blocks little GreenBean claws. It can't block Gastineau. Oh! All right. What's going on here? I guess it's got to be like that. Hold on. I don't want this one. Let me see. Got Gastineau over. Can you see him? Yeah, okay. This little fella, this is bad. This is not good. What do we got? I'll figure it out. This is not good. But anyway, so I'm with you. So, all right, let's talk about this. I know, Hennessy, what are you going to do? Bearded was there. I was really excited to see Bearded. VT, it was his first ever game. And I was like, oh, but I don't feel like I got enough quality time. I don't feel like I did with Bearded. I spent a lot of time with Leo, Lucky Leo, he's one of the greatest guys. I got to see Jack, right? Marcel, G-Man, which G-Man and his wonderful wife, they flew in from Wales. And they brought all kinds of amazing gifts from Wales. They brought little chocolates and tea cakes from Scotland, and it was amazing. So I spent a lot of time with a lot of people, but I feel like I didn't get to see Bearded. I didn't get to see Hennessy and a few others, man. I love you, Thomas. You guys are great. Yeah, it is. It's perfect for Taylor Swift concerts. That's funny, Love Bites. Thomas, you're awesome. Bearded's last name is Clam. Come on, Sluggo. That's low-hanging fruit. You're better than that. All right. So here's the thing. Here's what I want to point out. Now, Aaron Rodgers, everybody. Aaron Rodgers, as you know. Let me see what this looks like real quick. Yaboa. How'd he do? I didn't check on anything. So Aaron Rodgers threw 4. He didn't like go off. He didn't go crazy, but he threw 4 touchdowns. Now, what were we saying before the game? The worst thing in the world would be for Aaron Rodgers to come back into our house as the enemy and throw, I said 3 touchdowns, to go off for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. So we didn't see that. We didn't see 300 yards. but we didn't see 3 touchdowns either. We saw 4. And obviously, as you know, one of them wouldn't have happened if fucking Gibson didn't gift wrap a red zone possession. Now, it doesn't mean we can't stop them, but it's tough when the defense is on the field for a drive. They give up a touchdown, they walk off, and they got to run right back on. It's a tough gig, you know. So we saw 4 touchdowns. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Now, Aaron Rodgers. Again, it's not that he didn't look like, you know, a 28-year-old Aaron Rodgers, but he definitely looked confident, calm, proficient. He made good decisions. His arm looked good. He was accurate for the most part. He was 22 of 30 for 244 and 4 touchdowns. So what this shows us is this. 2 things. One is, when we were having these discussions about Aaron Rodgers being washed and being old, now he's got a whole season, so a lot can be coming down the pike that changes our minds here and everything. And a lot's yet to be written. And he was highly motivated for this particular game and the whole thing. But what it shows us is this. So like Jesse P saying, we don't know if this is the case, Jesse, right? And it wasn't Aaron Rodgers last year. Like, think about this. He had Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Breece Hall. You know, we had obviously Lazard, but Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, Conklin. He had everything. The line after Brown went down was blocking well. It was the offensive game plan. It was the coaching. So when you look at it, I'm not the biggest Arthur Smith guy. Truth is, I don't really like Arthur Smith. I don't think he's all that great. As an offensive coordinator, different than head coach, but it confirms something, man. It confirms that it's not so much about the players. It is about the players, right? If your guy's bigger, stronger, faster, better than their guy, then, you know what I mean? Obviously, you have an edge. But, dude, coaching is the most important thing. Giving Aaron Rodgers the keys to the kingdom. Number one, bringing over players, Cobb, Lazard, those kinds of guys in the house. That's one side of it. But the other thing, you know damn well, Aaron Rodgers, he's changing plays at the line. He's obviously very influential in what the game is going to be, what the plays are going to be, what the designs are going to be, all that kind of stuff. When he goes to Pittsburgh, it's Arthur Smith, and Tomlin doesn't care. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's his team. There's no question about it. You see it. Aaron Rodgers is up in Green Bay with LaFleur. Obviously, before that, what's his name? McCarthy, then LaFleur. And he comes down here and he picks his guy, Hackett, who's so bad we bench him, and bring in Downing, who's, better, but whatever. It's marginally better. But you can see it. That was Aaron Rodgers with a competent staff. And they have DK Metcalf, but we're not talking about world beaters. It's not Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams on the Steelers. They're fine, but you know what I mean? Can we agree on that? It is about coaching, man. So what it does, now when you look at that and you just flip that to the Jets side of the ball, and you look at Justin Fields, who's been maligned. He's had his issues through, is all from Chicago to Pittsburgh to us. And you look at him with an offensive coordinator. Again, we don't know what Tanner Engstrand's going to be moving forward, but didn't it look different? You look at Aaron Rodgers over there on the Steelers, he looks completely different. And then you look at Justin Fields over here in our offense. Do we have less offensive player power than we did last year? Reynolds is not Devontae Adams. You could argue that the tight end's better, but Breece is the same. Braylon Allen's the same. Isaiah Davis is the same. Again, maybe the tight end, but Ruckert, look at Ruckert, who's, by the way, I saw his dad walking out. I didn't to hang out with him or anything, but I just saw him and I said, hey, man, your boy did well today. He played well. And he's one of those, because he knows what we all said about his son. You know what I mean? Like fucking that he's, blowing his chance and, maybe we should cut him and all that kind of stuff. That sucks, right? So it's nice to see Ruck. But look, didn't Ruckert look different? He's blocking, he's catching, he's first downing, all the stuff. Aaron Rodgers goes to the Steelers. He looks like Aaron Rodgers. Justin Fields hangs out with Tanner Engstrand. He looks different. Ruckert looks different. Breece Hall looks like the Breece Hall of old. Rookie Breece Hall. The offensive line's performing. Dude, let me tell you something. I have a lot more like reviewing to do, but I did some, and I'm looking at the offensive line. One of the things that really stood out to me was when they're doing a stunt, like, for example, like, they do a stunt, the defensive end goes inside, and Membu has to kind of help. He's not going to stand there. He's helping with the defensive tackle, and then when they come around, he disengages, and he's there. You know what I mean? Like, he's picking it up. They're picking it up. They're passing him off. Last year, we looked lost. This is one game with an offensive line coach that's so, dude, Keith Clark might, or what is that his name? Might be the worst ever. But like, look at this. It confirms, man, how important coaching really is. And you can say, no shit, Bean. Of course, I'm telling you, it's the most important thing. Great coaches, or even really good coaches, make players that are, not elite look good. Make players who are really good look elite. It's the gameplay. Dude, let me tell you something. One example. My buddy Ronnie, who's the guy in the Dennis Bird story, one of the guys who went to the hospital to see Dennis Bird the night of his injury. That's on, you can check that video out. It's on my page. It's like, if you're new to the channel, it'll be the first video that pops up, but it's the Dennis Bird story. He's the guy. So he's sitting in front of me. I haven't seen him in 25 years, right? He's there with his wife and two sons who I've never met. The kid's 22 years old, never met him. But he's in front of me, and he says to me, he leans back, and he goes, hey, you think that, maybe we could do something more than run up the middle? I know it's working, but maybe. I said, bro, he's setting it up. He's setting something up. And we brought in all the bigs, and they fake it. And what happens? Garrett Wilson streaks to the next play. They all came up to, you brought in all the big bodies in tight formation. You bring everybody together. They all think it's a run, and you send Garrett Wilson, and he's out there one-on-one. He peels across the middle, and he's fucking wide open. You could see as the game went on, they weren't just running plays for the sake of running plays. There was a game plan. It sounds so silly to be all jazzed up about that kind of stuff. But the truth is we don't have that. We haven't had that here. I can say honestly, the last time I really, like, Adam Gase's opening drives were great. Other than that, he was lost. LaFleur had some good game plans, but again, no situational awareness. He had good, like, he knew how to draw up a good play, scheme guys open and stuff. But the flow of the game, there was nothing there, nothing to it. Chad Morton was pretty good at that. But the last time I felt like we were really game planning for real was Chan Gailey. The first 2 years of Todd Bowles. That was the last time I felt like our offensive coordinator actually knew what the hell he was doing. And I liked Morton. I did. So, dude, coaching is everything. It is dude, look at Robert Saleh and his approach versus Aaron Glenn and his approach. Robert Saleh, these are grown men. What am I going to tell them how to? What do you mean? I'm going to tell them how to live. They know they messed up like that. What is that? Aaron Glenn, complete opposite. No, because it's my team and I said so. That's why you're doing that. You know what I mean? I'm the coach. I'm the boss. Candlejack. Great overhearing you during the game. It was like having live commentary. I'm a wallflower type, so I didn't bug you fellas, but it's cool being around. What do you mean, Jack? Candlejack? You were with us? Was I? Who were you? Where were you? Like, I mean, were you the Jack? I thought Jack was Jack. Jack is the guy named Jack. Was that you? It's tough with you guys and all the names we have. Tell me who you were. It was great overhearing you during the game. Where were you? Wait, are you the guy who was behind me? All of a sudden, I can't remember his name. I want to say Kenny. No, because I was chatting with that motherfucker all night. Tell me who you are. I'm going to keep an eye on this Candlejack guy. Tell me who you were. Where were you sitting? Because I was high-fiving everybody, man. I was running down that line. For all you guys that weren't here, this was our reaction. Let me get the I'll bring the comment right back. Hold on. Well, I don't know what's going on. Shout out to Big Dog Quinnen Williams. Infrared. You got to give it to Quinnen. Opening play of the game, sack. Come on. Come on. You know what I mean? Why you bringing that out of here? That's not my name. That's what my wife calls me, but that's not who I am, Swamp Thing. So here's our reaction to the first time together, me, Matt, Ryan, Jeremy, Dom, the first time we're ever together seeing an offensive touchdown. Here we go. Yeah. See all the flags? Yay! I guess they wanted to compete with the terrible towel. Now let me ask you guys a question. Our first poll question is going to be this. Okay. Now, assuming that the Jet, because usually they give, well, and then what's weird too? They give us these towels most of the time. Why wouldn't they give us a towel? But anyway, they gave us green and white flags. So you can get a white one or a green one. And I was thinking, like the terrible towel is so good because there's a million of the same color towel, right? It's like it changes everything. It's like this movement of the same color. Let me see this. Wait. All right, hold on. All right, so here we go. So they gave away. All right, they gave us the option. You can have either one. Okay? All white, all green. All right, let me just get okay. So just so you guys, so I have my thoughts, and I was looking at it, and it looks cool. And they go, wave your flags, and you wave your flags, But I was still looking at it. It's like I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. So let me know what you think about this. I want to show you guys another video too. I want to show you guys something else. Let me show you this one. So this was when Aaron Glenn went for 2, I think. Yeah, here we go. All right, here we go. So I want to show you guys this one too. Now, we'll talk. I'm going to ask you guys a question in the poll. We'll let this one go for a minute or two. And then I want to ask you guys another question. All right. So, hold on. Let me just add this so we're getting this going. And what are you going to do? Hold on over here. Let me just get this in here. All right. So, I don't know what I was talking about. Oh, the 2-point conversion. So, number one, you do like if we're looking at something in hindsight, it has a different, you can, everything seems logical. Well, why didn't you just, you know what I mean? Everything, when you're in the moment and you're looking at the game and you're trying to figure things out and there's flow of the game, momentum, analytics, likelihood of things working, not working, so forth. When you're looking at the Jets team, remember how we went in there. We're all thinking take the under. We're not thinking this is going to be an aerial assault or the points every drive. They went back and forth almost the whole game. The beginning of the third quarter, there was a back and forth punt thing for a minute, maybe the first half of the third quarter. Dude, the rest of the game, it was like back and forth the whole game. Points, 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 points. It's crazy. So when you think about this, you score a touchdown. Folk misses it, but there's a penalty. So it puts you on the 1-yard line. Now, people in hindsight go, why would you ever? There's no reason to do that. Why would you do that? Okay. You're on the 1-yard line. So I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm not going to be ashamed to say it. I agreed with the call. I not only agreed with it, I applauded it. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you what I did right here. So here's what it looked and sounded like. I'm pretty sure this is it. I hope it is. Here you go. This is right after he made the decision to do it.
That takes balls. Aaron Glenn's got balls.
See? And look at the size of the balls that I claimed Aaron Glenn had. See that? I wasn't talking. He's got a little tiny. He's got balls. Look at it again. Watch look at the size of the balls. I'm claiming Aaron Glenn.
That takes balls. Aaron Glenn's got balls.
See? So that's the thing. It's like look. It ends up if he just kicks the extra point and then we kick the other extra point. You know what I mean? It's a different game. But there's lots of things that make it a different game. There are big moments. There are big things that are real. And you look at here for comparison's sake. You look at the Brandon Stevens missed interception, right? Which would have basically all but ended the game. It had the potential to do that. And it changes the entire narrative too, right? Aaron Rodgers, 3 touchdowns and a interception in the fourth quarter that killed the game. Totally different narrative. But the truth is, they dropped an interception too. Went right in the guy's hands and he dropped it. Just so happened to be a defensive lineman and they don't know how to catch. That's what it is. You know what I mean? So like that kind of stuff, of course, yes. If this happened, that happened. If this didn't happen, if he caught that, he dropped that, of course. But then there are real things, like big things, true game-changing plays. The Gibson play, in my opinion, much more than the 2-point conversion conversation. The Gibson play was the difference in the game. And it still came down to a miracle catch and a 60-yard field goal, which happened to be the guy's long, Let's end this poll real quick and see. Now, I'll ask you guys. So I said, what flag? Now, remember, this is the white flag, and there was a green one. They gave us both. So there's lots of green, lots of white, and it just looked, you know what I mean? It had no oomph. It was cool looking, but it had no oomph. If it was all green or all white, then it makes a statement. You know what I mean? So you guys said you guys like the green and white option. All right. Well, I guess that's why they did it. They asked a bunch of you guys. All green, 38%, all white, 14%. Let me tell you, the truth is, I think the all white would have been the best. But all green, I would have been into as well. So real quick, I see a super chat I'll get to. Is there any chance you could do a preseason group buy? At least I wouldn't care when the Jets lose. Yeah. I mean, it's possible. It's just tough, VT, because for me to get up there, my aunt, Aunt Gina, she doesn't come around the chats anymore. I don't know why. But she asks me to go to a preseason game almost every year. And it's hard for me to get up there. Let me close some stuff down here. So, got a lot of shit running. Let me see. Oh, why is this open? Get out of here. No wonder things are spotty. What is this? Why is this thing open? Get the fuck out of here. So, all right, let's get to this guy. Ablab. The one and only Ablab Studios checking in to say hello. Good to see you, bud. He says, gang, looking ahead, what's our game plan for Josh Allen? All right, see, Ablab, it's only Monday. But we could do a little bit of this. We want to, it's like, that's Wednesday talk. But here we go. And what will they scheme for Fields? Do we have a chance or what? Now, here's the thing, especially if you watched last night's game, which I did not. We listened to it. We were driving home. And my wife, as you know, is kind of by proxy, a Jets fan. And she gets more and more Jets fan-y every single year. But just if we were a winning team, she'd be in. My wife is from Baltimore. And she came to me as a Baltimore Ravens fan. And she has her Ravens jerseys and Ravens hats and all the stuff. So we're listening to the game. We're driving by Baltimore, the whole thing. The Ravens should have won that game. And they had it. And they blew it. And that pisses me off. Wouldn't it have been neat if the entire AFC East was 0-1 right now? Wouldn't that have been fun? But no, we don't get to see that. I think that would have been fun. But so Ablab wants to know, what is our game plan for Josh Allen? It's not the same as Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, we wanted to just get to him and make him look old. Josh Allen will make you pay if you over pursue. You know this. The whole Will McDonald thing, he spins inside. Josh Allen will see that quick and go to the outside. You know what I mean? You got to have discipline. You got to be disciplined in your spot with your assignments. He'll make you pay. The good news, Ablab, is that if this new Jets defense, if they showed us anything, that tier 1 and tier 2 are solid. Our defensive line and our linebackers, solid. Dude, we completely shut down their run game. Completely shut it down. What, 53 yards? Let me see what it was. Let me see what they had. Team stats. So here's what they had. They had 53 rushing yards and 218 passing yards. It's not a banner day. They just happened to get in the end zone a bunch of times. But again, it's all about when you give somebody the ball, especially when they had the momentum, they just punched it in. The next play, you give it to them in our red zone. Dude, it's too much. Momentum is something that you can't account for, right? But so let me ask you guys, what are we thinking? How do you stop Josh Allen? What's the story? What are we going to do for these guys? You know, Elijah Moore's over there too, right? So they got all these guys. You know, Ablab, I'm going to tell you, I don't know. Our back end of our defense is questionable at best. You know, wait, hold on, Abel. I'm okay, right? But I do remember. We should have talked. I know, but if you're a fly on the wall guy, that's good. But I do. I know exactly where you were. Well, cool. I'm glad we got to interact, even if it was not like official. You know what I mean? So, all right, let me get to I'm going to look at the chat and see what Tony the GM thinks. Oh, he's talking fucking draft. Holy shit. Fair enough, Mo. I'm with you. And that's kind of what I'm saying, even though I said it the opposite way. I'm afraid of them. Can we beat them? Of course we can beat them. I mean, we play Buffalo well. It's a division, but this is our first time playing Buffalo. We're 0-1. They're 1-0. They just beat one of the upper tier teams in the league at home. So they're coming into our house. They're going to have lots of fans there, just like Steelers did. Maybe not as much, but Bills Mafia travels well too. They always did, even when they sucked. There was lots of Buffalo Bills fans in Giant Stadium back in the day. That's funny, Sluggo. He says, hey, it's not shit happens. That's not an unrealistic scenario. I happen to do exactly that. That's how I got my wife. Sent it in the mail. She got sent to me in the mail. Cabbage Patch Kid, you know. But so let's see what everybody thinks. And then what are they going to do for Justin Fields? Now, can our offense, their defensive line is good. Let's take a look at it. So let's take a look at their depth chart together, Ablab. I hate this fucking site. It takes up so much bandwidth, but hold on. Let me share it with you. Let's see. Ablab, you ready? So our offensive line, I'm going to tell you right now, looked good. And Membu looked good, guys. I was nervous about him. See all the bandwidth this thing takes? So let's just do it quickly. Hold on. It's like shutting down it's shutting down everything. It's crazy. Everything's stinking. Like this fucking piece of shit site. Here they go. We just want to look at their defensive line. You got Daquan Jones, Ed Oliver, Joey Bosa, and Greg Rousseau. Come on. It's crazy. And then you add to it, Matt Milano is an absolute stud. AJ Epinesa as depth, guys. Dorian Williams. All right, Terrell Bernard, Christian Benford, Cole Bishop, Tre'Davious White. He's out? Okay. But their defensive line, so it's going to be a real test. I'm shutting this site down. Let me just see something real quick on their offense. So their offensive line, Connor McGovern, not the same guy. We talk about it. So Deion Dawkins, as you know, David Edwards, Connor McGovern, Osiris Torrance at guard came out as a tackle, and Spencer Brown. Obviously, the tight end, Dalton Kincaid, tight ends, and Dawson Knox. Jackson Hawes, who I like too. James Cook's a stud. Ty Johnson does great for them. Remember Ty Johnson? But anyway, so this is going to be a real test for our offensive line. The truth is, last week was a real test for our offensive line. They played beautifully. Guys, the protection was great, but I got to say, even more important, a bigger tell was the fact that our offensive line, dude, the running game, they blocked so well for the run. We had 182 rushing yards. Now, some of that's Justin Fields, but that's fine because some of it was up the middle. But Brees Hall with a buck, 107. Braylon Allen with whatever, 10, 12, something like that. Let me see how much he had. I gotta look now. Now I got to look. So Brees Hall had 107. Justin Fields had 48. Isaiah Davis had 18. I didn't know that. That was a lot of that was on that one run, like on that third down. I hated that play. And Braylon Allen had 9 yards, right? So, but dude, the running lanes were beautiful. And that's against a team that's, dude, they're a solid defensive line. And they knew we were going to try to run. That's the key. That's the key. So maybe, dude, it's another good test. We might have young offensive line worth talking about, you know? So that's the whole thing. That's going to be key. If that happens and Brees Hall can move and Justin Fields has time and can run around, we might see an offense that's competent because Garrett Wilson's a stud. Brees Hall, stud. I love his backups, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis. But, dude, Jeremy Ruckert and Mason Taylor, I would love nothing more than to see Jeremy Ruckert. This is his role. Like, just continue to do that. Block well and get those 3-4 third down catches. Dude, if he does that, I'm 100% team Ruckert. Because who doesn't want Ruckert to succeed? You know what I mean? It's like fucking Jets fan, local guy. You know, we loved him coming out. I know I did. I wouldn't have taken him with the third. The thing is, I would have if we didn't just sign Uzoma and Conklin. That's what mucked it all up. But I wanted Trey McBride anyway, that draft. But I was happy with Ruckert. But anyway, I'd love it if he could show up and be just he doesn't have to be a world beater. Be a great blocker and get those 2 to 4 third down catches every game. I'm in, right? Aren't you in? But I don't know, Ablab. I think it's going to be tough. Let me see what these guys are saying. JMG, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. He says rush ball 40 times, control time of possession, and keep Trash Allen off the field. That's the key. 4 yards of play wins the game, man. Keep Josh Allen off the field. But here's the thing, Jay's Beers. Sorry. The defense didn't, here's the defensive backs didn't play well. That's the truth of it. And that includes Michael Carter. Sauce played well. Sauce played fantastic. Michael Carter had his problems. Tony Adams flat out sucks. And I've been saying it for a while. I don't know why these guys have this entrenched. I don't think, dude, another week or two, we might not see him. We got Malachi Moore waiting. You got A.Z. Thomas. Brandon Stevens was the weak link. And here's what I'm going to tell you. When you have Sauce Gardner on one side and even Michael Carter in the nickel, he had a mixed game, but he's good too, man. Brandon Stevens is good. Dude, you don't think they're going to watch tape and go, that's where we're going. We're throwing the ball right. They're going to put Elijah Moore on him. They're going to put everybody on him. Shakir, right? Isn't Shakir there? I forget. That's what they're going to do. And the safeties. Cisco was, mixed, but dude, Tony Adams had a rough game, man. His angles are terrible. He doesn't look like he belongs out there, man, to me. And he hasn't. He's had a couple moments. He looks like a guy who's third string and plays specials. That's what he looks like to me. And I hope we don't have to see him all year. Jake checking in. Missed you the first game on live stream because my mom wanted to watch it in her Talking Jets shirt. Went to her house. We looked good. Gibson effed it. So, well, here's the thing. I didn't do a live stream, Jake, so you don't got to worry about it. So we got to get your mom in her Talking Jets shirt this coming Sunday. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be our opening week with the live stream. Jeremy, Frankie, Matt, Ryan checking in potentially. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. That's funny though. But dude, Gibson, now people are saying, why isn't he cut? Why didn't he? I'll tell you why. Now, I don't know what will happen tomorrow. It's only Monday. They don't even come back today, right? They come back tomorrow, I think. Maybe even Wednesday. But here's the thing. Maybe one game for them isn't going to be the decider. Maybe. So that's one thing that could slow it down. But if I was Aaron Glenn, my team, I would know that Pritchett's going to be replacing him this week. We're going to cut him, maybe stuff him on the practice squad, maybe, whatever. But I wouldn't announce it. I'd let them think we're running it back with Gibson. That's who you're kicking it to. You know what I mean? I'd let them plan for that. And then it's not the biggest thing because it's a return. It's not like, scheme, offensive schematics and that kind of stuff. But Pritchett can also give you more on the offense than Gibson. So I would definitely not say anything until the last minute. And then I'd cut him and bring Pritchett up. That's what I'd do. But here's the thing, and I think this stat came from Buffalo Jets fan. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. I heard Matt O'Leary say it. Gibson has 11 fumbles in 35 games. Dude, 11 fumbles in 35 games, dude? Ablab, are you hearing this? Infrared. Is this acceptable? Dude, you can't keep a guy around that fumbles that much. Remember what they say? He caught every punt in training camp, every kick, every punt. Yeah, there's no fucking lights on him. Anybody does. It's like the pickup game. Everybody looks great. And then you put some pressure on him. Like we said, look, and I heard a lot of people say it. And we talked about it last year. And I even heard, I think it was Damian Woody said it. I think that's who it was. One of the things that you teach runners as kids, remember, I'm a coach for 9, 10, 11-year-olds. That's the tier I'm at for coaching. Right? I can teach fundamental stuff. Like once we get past that, I'm like, you don't want me coaching. But one of the things you teach a ball carrier to protect the ball is if you're running to the right side of the field, you want the ball on the outside. Why? Why would that be important? It sounds so stupid. If you're running to the left side, you want the ball on the outside in the same way in your left arm. Why? Gibson doesn't do that. And that's what happened yesterday. He runs right and the ball's on the left-hand side, which exposes it to the guys coming at you. That's what it does. And that's what he does. And that's the result is 11 fumbles in 35 games. So let's see if this holds true. And if he does, then he'll make a move quick.
That takes balls. Aaron Glenn's got balls.
Yeah. Aaron Glenn's got balls. So I see Ablab saying it's not accept right, man. It is not okay, guys. And something Aaron Glenn said in his presser, we will not have guys won't play who lose us the game. And he lost you the fucking game. Because that was the game, they were going back and forth. All right, it sucked that they got a score, but very likely that we're going down and scoring now. Instead, remember, we had a 2-score lead. So when they scored, we were still up. And when we would go down and score, it returned it back to a 2-score lead. Now it was a touchdown and a field goal. That flipped the game and put us. Now, when we score, we go ahead, but it was a 1-score game. And, we saw the end result. Again, dude, they needed a 60-yard field goal to beat us after a crazy catch. Well, that catch shouldn't have happened. Rusty Spooner, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Hope all is well. Damn the refs, shit penalties, certain corners with their head in the dirt and no good, waste of space. Gibson, cut Gibson ASAP. E-I-E-I-O, right? Yeah, there it is. Will McDonald looked fantastic. I got to see how many pressures. I wasn't able to dig into like PFF and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I want to see like how many pressures and how many stops our guys had. Because I'll tell you, man, our defensive line, it sucks. Like, and then when you look at it through the naked eye, like if you look and you say, our defense played like shit. Well, yeah, they gave up 34 points. So, you know what I mean? It's very easy to say that, but that's not really true. I was actually excited by what the defensive line was doing and the linebackers for that matter. It was the defensive backs, which is crazy because that's Aaron Glenn's deal, right? That's it. Richard Allen knows. That's the way. Bearded, there he is. I was just talking about you, buddy. He says, this is his StreamBeaner member super chat. If you guys would like to support the channel, get your free super chats and your emojis. It is greatly appreciated. Helps out a great deal. We're going to be doing some contests starting this weekend too with the memberships and shit. But Bearded's been around for 19 months. He's also a beanbagger, which I'll give you guys the schedule for beanbagger goodness this week as well. When we're going to hang out and meet, he's in our fantasy league and all that. It's great. Bearded says, had a blast at the game. Just got home this evening. I'm sold on every future group buy. I'll say hi sooner next. I know, man. Because it's tough, Bearded. Like, I want to see you guys, but you were one of the people in particular. I knew you were driving in. I knew where you were the day before and all that stuff, right? We were talking on the Discord. And I really wanted a chance to see you, but that's, there's I'm hanging out with everybody, right? Including like Tailgate Joe and just everybody. People are coming over saying hello and all that shit. But you were one of the guys I really wanted to spend some time with. And it was like, I don't know if we saw each other at all. I was like, at the end of the game, you're like, hey, I'm like, I give you a hug. And you're like, I'm bearded. It was like after the game. I'm like, oh, dude. So anyway, there's no stress, no bullshit one way or the other, but I would have liked to spend more time with you. So anyway, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you liked it. I know I left the stadium and drove to Virginia right after the game. Just got in the car, hit the turnpike, and went to Virginia. Got home at like 11:30 last night or 11 o'clock, something like that. So I'm glad you made it home safe, buddy. It was good to see you. Jake checking in. It was DBs missing tackles that sucked. Dude, they were missing tackles. They were blowing coverages. It was really something, man. It was really something. And that was the tale of the game. Our offensive line was great. Our quarterback was great. Our wide receivers were great. Our tight ends were great. Offensive line was great. Our running backs were great. Our defensive line was great. The balls on Aaron Glenn showed aggression, confidence in the team. That shit's important, man. Linebackers played great. Maybe not great, but they were definitely solid. I saw the Quincy penalty was ridiculous. All on him. That was not like a bad call. They had to call that shit, and they should have called that. And it sucks because I believe that was third down, wasn't it? Weren't they off the field? Like we extended the play, the drive. That's points, I believe. So, that's the kind of shit you don't need. But other than that, so you can't give him a grape. Sherwood looked fucking great. It's all over the place. So yeah, man, the DBs. And there's a couple interesting solutions. I'm going to make a different video about that and break it down. I'm going to try to drop daily content, guys, but it'll be daytime stuff. I can't do as much nighttime shit. Just so happens that I felt like doing it tonight. You know what I mean? I can't, and I'm going to be late tomorrow night too, so I got to be careful. Can't do the Thursday thick of it, but I can do daytime shit. So I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to drop a video pretty much every day. I'm going to do more live shit too. I love to hang out with you guys. So Richard says we should not blame Gibson. We all know he was a bum. This is on Glenn. Bad coaching. That's a great point, actually. It's a great point. Like, the truth is while it is Gibson's fault, who didn't listen to us? Right? Who didn't listen to us? Aaron Glenn. That's the truth of it. Infrared says we only had one wide whatever the hell that word is. We're going to call it receiver, and we scored 32 points. That shit's crazy. But here's the thing. That's true. And he had 95 yards and a touchdown. And he almost had that other touchdown, which ended up being a Justin Fields rush. So, but it would have been nice to see Justin Fields with 2 in the air and 1 on the ground. Not that it matters, but Garrett Wilson would have had 2. But Garrett Wilson had 7 receptions for 95 yards and a touchdown and got us down to the 1.5 yard line on that other one. Beautiful. Garrett Wilson. But here's the thing, Infrared. Here's the thing. While he was the only wide receiver of consequence, as far as like a big game, Tyler Johnson, clutch. The 2 catches he did have were clutch. First downs. How about Josh Reynolds? Another one. And those plays, let me tell you something. Dude, Justin Fields, those were tight windows, man. The confidence and the touch. Not the touch, but the accuracy. It's amazing. So, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what you need. Dude, do we have any problem, really, with it? Like, yesterday was the Justin Fields, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson show with a little sprinkling of the other wide receivers and the tight ends. Like, that's what it was. And a Braylon Allen, short yardage stuff and the touchdown. So it's like, do you mind that? I think that's fine. Our main wide receiver, our quarterback, rushing for some stuff, Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, the tight end, you know what I mean? The other wide receivers get 2 passes, 2 touches a game. The tight ends, Ruckert had Let me see. Trevor Ruckert had 2 for 16, both first downs. Mason Taylor had 1 for 20, which was an important first down. Josh Reynolds had 2 for 18. At least one was a first down. Tyler Johnson had 1 first down, I believe. I forget. I got to look. But clutch plays. So look, Garrett Wilson had 7 receptions. The rest of them collected. The other 5 guys had 9. I'm totally fine with that. And that includes Breece Hall's too. So you take Breece Hall out of it, you got 4 other guys that, receivers or tight ends that caught the ball. It's like they were equal with Garrett. Garrett had 7 and they had 7 collectively. I'm all about it. Now, John, I wish we had Jabril Peppers. I know. You know what's interesting though, man? I was definitely of the mindset, although safety doesn't really apply. I thought we should have added another safety. But I would rather see, like, if Brandon Stevens and Tony Adams are going to suck balls, I would much rather see the rooks make their mistakes. Malachi Moore and AZ Thomas. Go ahead, get them out there. They can't play worse. Dude, what's his name? Brandon Stevens gave up I don't know how many receptions, but and the pass interference and the dropped interception. You know what I mean? Jake says, I had no faith. I benched Wilson in fantasy this week. I believe we're actually, yeah. Dude, you know what? Now you got to bench him every week or you break the streak. You know what I mean? I want to try to find one more video for you guys. Let me show you. So, guys, just for the ones who weren't here in the beginning, this is our reaction to seeing the first touchdown that we've ever seen in person together, offensively. Not a touchdown, but offensively in particular. But I haven't seen an offensive touchdown live since 2018. This is the one that broke it. And this is our reaction live. All right, here, I'll show you guys this one too. You ready? So this is right before we walked in. Now, remember, it was raining. It ended up being a really great football day, for weather, but the first couple hours out there in the parking lot, and it killed a lot of the vibe, which sucks. When it's raining outside, you can only deal with so much of that. Most people are going to bail. So a lot of we had quite a few people that didn't show up to the tailgate because of that. We had people that left early. They were out there for an hour and they're like, "Hey, I'm going to get out of here, go in the stadium or whatever." So we had a nice crew. This is right before we walked into the stadium. This is our group. You ready? You ready, Bearded? Not bad, right? You see the cinematic. Look at that. I'll show it again. Cinematic. Pay attention to the cinematography, everybody. Aaron Glenn's got some balls. I love it. So, guys, let's get some likes going. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, that would be greatly appreciated. It helps the channel a great deal. I'm going to be dropping all kinds of great content for you this year. And I have a whole bunch of graphic shit that I gotta fold it in, but I'm just really getting started with actually focusing. Again, I had to work out a lot of schedule. Everything I've been doing is kind of sticking it in and piecemealing it. This is the first week that I'm really able to kind of go, okay, here's my hours that I can devote to this. And obviously on game day, we're going to be doing the whole thing. Game day is going to be the best. This is going to be our best year of game day. I believe we're going to have fun. That's what I believe. Why? I don't know. You bet, Sluggo. You're the best. Love Sluggo. Where's Jeremy? Is Jeremy here? You do you think I have that video? There's no video of that. That'll never, that doesn't exist, man. It looked a lot like this. Actually, so look, my daughter, check this out. My daughter came with us to her first game ever was last year against the Broncos. So again, raining all day and the whole thing. And that game sucked. It just was the worst. So this game, she comes in, and my wife, this was the first time my wife ever came to a Jets game with me. I think she came to one in Miami, down in Miami Stadium when we were first together. So this is definitely your first time at MetLife. And, whatever. She hasn't been to a Jets game with me in 18 years. So my daughter, who wears the number 20 in her sport, she goes, who's number 20? I said, Brees Hall. She goes, oh, that's my number, because he was going off. She's like, oh, I like it. This is good. I like him. So she's asking me all the questions about the sport. Hey, what does this mean? What does that mean? Why do they do this? What happened out there? What does that mean when he does this? So I was doing that all day, which is my favorite thing to do. Like, right? When you get like a new fan and they're like excitedly asking you about the game, to be able to talk to somebody and educate them on the shit that we just take for granted about the game. What does it mean when the guy throws the flag? What does this mean? You know what I mean? Holding, that kind of, what does that mean? What? It's so fun to be able to do that with somebody. So she's asking all these questions about this. And actually, Modine, what was happening right there, when we missed the 2-point conversion, the one before that, I told her, the reason we're going for 2 is because the 1 point doesn't mean anything. If you kick 1, we're only up by 2. It's the same difference as if you have 1, blah, blah, blah. This thing. So that's why we need this to work. And it didn't work. And I said, that has the potential to bite us in the ass. And being the Jets and being around for as long as I have, I said, that's going to be the decider right there. We're going to lose by a field goal if we lose. If the Jets can't hold it together, that'll be how we lose. When that was going, when they were lining up for the kick, I said, hey, remember when I talked about the 2 points and all that? She goes, yeah. I said, this is the moment I'm telling you about. So if he makes this, we'll have 35 seconds left or whatever, a minute. But it's going to be real hard to win the game. So anyway, that's what was going on at that time. Let me see what else you guys got. Yeah, the old Jet Stadium. I know. I tell you, I loved Giant Stadium was better than MetLife. Obviously, it's better not walking into a fucking stadium that has a big, huge sign of another team on it. That sucks. Like, I had this article years ago. It said the worst fans in America. And the opening blurb of the article said this. I still remember it by heart. It said, you'd be surly too if you had to watch your team lose repeatedly and pathetically. No, it said if you would be surly too if you waited for in hours of traffic to watch your team lose repeatedly and pathetically in someone else's stadium. That's about sums it up, doesn't it? All right, a couple more comments here. Kim, hi, GreenBean. Hey, Kim. Sucks we didn't win. I still love that base. Sucks we didn't win, but glad you got to see a good game while you were up. Well, thank you. Because it's important. At least my daughter also said to me before the game, before we lost it, she goes, this is a lot of fun when we're good. I said, isn't it? It's a lot more fun. And that's the thing. We wanted to see a competitive team. We wanted to not get embarrassed. The only downside of this is that we lost. And on top of that, Aaron Rodgers threw 4 fucking touchdowns. That's the downside. But we got to see a good game. Dude, I can't tell you the last time I stayed in my seats I didn't even know what to do with myself. I'm never there at the end. It's just there hasn't been a game that's kept me there. And I'm not one of the guys who leaves in the third quarter. I'm not that guy. Like you see a lot of people leave. Now, years ago, I would always stay till the end. But I don't do that anymore. I haven't stayed till the end of the game in years, decade or more. When the game was over and we lost on that Garrett, when Garrett Wilson got pummeled, look, you got to say it. Fucking great hit. Form tackle, man. Dude, that's perfect hit Coverage, hit, tackle, the whole thing. Garrett Wilson was the victim of a great play. Sucks. But it is what it is. It happens. But when that happened and the game was over, I looked around. I'm like, why? Come on, let's go. And it's like, we couldn't because everybody's there. I'm like, why is anybody walking? Like, well, the stairs are packed. Our aisle, nobody can get anywhere. I didn't know what to do with myself. I'm used to going, see ya, and getting the fuck out of there. You know? John says, Jabril. What other safeties are out there? Free agent safeties. Let's see. Let's see who else we got here. Free agent type. All of them. Let's see. I only want available. I want signed. Ooh, Marcus Williams is still out there. Justin Simmons is still out there. No way. Could this be real? No. Previous team. Jordan Whitehead is still out there. Jordan Poyer, Marcus May. Is this real? Is this list real, guys? Let me show you this. It just seems a little bit off for me. Maybe I don't know. I haven't paid attention to this. So look at this list. This is like 3 years ago. These are the biggest names in the league. You got Marcus Williams. I'd grab him in a second. Is he injured or something? Justin Simmons. A little older, 32. Jordan Whitehead. Let me get it a little bit bigger. We know him. George Odom. Jordan Poyer's almost, he's a little old. Marcus May. Von Bell. Look at this. Colbert. Ryan Neal. Could any of these guys? I mean, wouldn't you like to just go get Justin Simmons? Pay him $4 million? How much did he play last year? Let's see. He played in all 16 games. He had 62 tackles, 36 solo. I mean, shit. He played 1,000 snaps. Wouldn't you guys be into that? I'd be into that. What's up, Wyatt? Good to see you, buddy. Wyatt's here, everybody. No, it doesn't look like Blackman's available. Glad you're here, bud. How big? Well, that's what they're saying. I mean, look, you got the market value for some of them, Rusty. Let's take a look. So, wait, where's it available? Here. So, like, they're saying Justin Simmons' market value. You could look at their previous contracts here. So, Marcus Williams was making $14 million a year. Justin Simmons was making 7.5. Jordan Whitehead was making 4.5. I'll tell you what, Jordan Whitehead, he was aggravating with the tackling and everything, but he's significantly better than what we're watching, right? That's how I feel. Odom, he was making 3. Jordan Poyer's old, 35 years old, almost 35. Marcus May. Could you imagine just grabbing Marcus May? He's 31 and a half years old. Did he play? I mean, he had all those issues and shit. Let's see what he was doing. Fines and suspensions. Only in 23, he was suspended for 3 games. Let's see. 2024, he was available for 15 games. He started 4. He only played 400 snaps. He had 40 tackles, 17 solo with an interception. Not terrible. I mean, not great by any means. I want to welcome Kim, the newest stream beaner. Welcome to the club. Thank you for the support. Greatly appreciated. Enjoy your emojis. Let's give some love. Everybody drop in a freeze bean emoji. All stream beaners, drop in the freeze bean emoji for Kim to welcome her, or any emoji in the green bean. I got a bunch more. I'm gonna add them. Thank you, Kim. What happened tonight? Anybody? What happened? I didn't watch the game tonight. What happened? I meant to turn it on. I completely forgot. Well, I don't know if anybody needs firing yet right now. You know what I mean? Richard, you gotta tone it down. You know, we don't need to fire anybody yet. Oh, Kim, your reign as the newest member, it only lasted a moment or two, and you've been supplanted, at least as far as the newest member, of course, not supplanted as how great you are. Blitz BK becomes the newest stream beaner. Welcome aboard, Blitz BK. Thank you. Let's drop some. There you go, freeze beaner. I'm going to drop in some Facebook fingers. There you go. This is for you, Blitz BK. Drop them shits in there. Yeah, Wyatt's being facetious. Hey, that's a great point. Some guy. Thank you. Thank you, Blitz, and thank you, Kim. Jermaine Johnson played 50 snaps. What do you think of that? Jermaine Johnson played 50 snaps here, but he had some pressures. Didn't get the sack, but he did cause, I think he caused the sloppy pass that could have went to Michael Carter if he would have fucking held on to it. I believe that's how it went. But man, JJ and Will McDonald, man, with Quinnen, Phillips. I'd love to see LT3 get in there, though. Fuck Tefeli, man. You know what I mean? I hope by game 4, LT3's in the mix because there's way more upside, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, look, Wyatt, again, you're fresh. So, like, I agree. I think there's an extreme response a lot of the time by lots of fans. But this is the problem. Said, dude, like, we should have won that game. That's the truth. We had every chance to win that game. We lost it with a minute left by a 60-yard field goal. And they wouldn't even have gotten into field goal range if it wasn't for a crazy-ass catch. And that's the thing. It's like the Jets. So it hurts. It bothers you. But you're right. Only a few players. Few plays. But that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. Jay-Z says, so much great stuff from this game ruined by only a few players. I know, that's the thing. And I'm choosing to focus on the positives because it's better for me. And look, my expectations are tempered for this year. But I got to tell you guys, that game had me pumped. And I was 100% convinced we were winning that game. Early fourth quarter, I'm like, dude, I was not dancing like in a shitty way, but I was like, bro, we're fucking winning. We're going to win this game. We look competent. I'm going to say one thing before we end this stream. This was something that I noticed. It's hard to notice this stuff when you're watching from home, but I noticed it and I watched it all game. One of the things that stood out to me, and this is very different than what we've been watching, particularly the last 4 years, but even before that. Todd Bowles teams, Adam Gase teams, totally the same. What I noticed was when the defense was on the field, most of the offensive players were on the sideline watching the game. They weren't over there sitting on their hands and all that shit. They were and I'm real players. Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Josh Reynolds, Ruckert. They were watching. They were engaged. The same thing on the defense. When the offense was on the field, I saw Will McDonald, I saw Quinnen, I saw Sherwood. They were standing there watching the game, rooting them on. They were high-fiving on and off the field. Dude, they were engaged. Now, not the linemen a lot of the time. Like the fat linemen, they got to go lay down. They got to go they're fat. They can't stand on those knees all day, right? They're big. They're 310 pounds, man. So you got to let them sit. That's fine. But, dude, the fact that they were engaged, like they were into it, they were feisty, they were hitting, they were aggressive, they were engaged. It's a totally different thing. If that kind of stuff settles in, Tanner Engstrand, he's going to have his clams, man. You got to know he's going to make mistakes. But by and large, he looked competent, didn't he? That's another thing. So our team is into it. They're pumped. They're supportive of each other. They're fucking hitting. They're protecting each other. Simpson's drawing penalties because he's crushing dudes for messing with field. Dude, I'll take that penalty every day of the week. The quarterback, you know what? It looks like they're creating the offense around his strengths. It's what we talked about all offseason. Look, we all know, we don't know Justin Fields. We don't know what we're getting with this guy. It's the long shot. But if anything's going to work, you gotta draw it up around his strengths. You can't try to make him into something he's not. All these coaches, I'm going to take a running athletic quarterback. I want to make him a pocket passer. He's not ready yet. Like, what are you doing? So if if your quarterback's playing well, your offensive line has a good game, opens run lane, your running back is badass, and you're coached well, you can win a lot of games like that. If the energy stays up. And look, we're probably going to lose this week. Don't go to pieces about 0-2. It just is what it is. We really should have yesterday's game was a game that you really wanted to take. But it is what it is. You start 0-2, okay. Fine. I'm still rooting and we can beat them, but it's going to be tough, man. This is a tough one. Dude, Buffalo, dude, they stacked this fucking roster. They want to go. They're tired of getting to the semifinals or the championship game and losing. They want in. Well, I mean, what do you expect? Of course he's going to say that, though, Richard. And the thing is what the Steelers proved is that Aaron Rodgers shouldn't be the coach. Aaron Rodgers should be the quarterback. You give him the game plan. You tell him what to run. And his job is to take the snap and get the ball down. And when you do that, he's great. We let him run the place because we're a bunch of shit. We're a bunch of slapdick fools. We brought him over here and said, whatever you want. They were naming their kids after him, these coaches. You know what I mean? So Tomlin, he's like, dude, I mean, you're a player on my team. My team. Arthur Smith creates and runs the offense. You're going to be the quarterback on our team. That's the difference. You know, we Hackett and Lazard, all these guys that were only here because he was here. And when it came down to it, Hackett sucks, Downing sucks. Aaron Rodgers was essentially, it was his team. It was his offense. He had everything he wanted. Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, they're all here. He's not a good coach. But look, he wanted to stay. And we told him to fuck off. Of course. He comes in, and the first game's in our house. He comes out. We boo him. Of course. It's normal. It's sports. I don't think he went crazy bad mouthing. He just said what you would expect him to say. I'm not butthurt about it. I get it, but I'm not butthurt about it. Like, again, I'm not shitting on what you're saying. I get it, but I wouldn't put too much stock in it, of course. But if Brandon Stevens gets that interception, it's a whole different narrative. Whole different narrative, man. The worst, Turbo. And that was the whole theme of this video. No, the title of the tile, anyway, the thumbnail. But it's like, listen, Aaron Rodgers, this game confirmed something. Coaching matters. And it really matters. Like, of course it matters. I get it. But no, it matters. It's everything. And the Jets have not put a premium on coaching for a long, long time. Adam Gase, he's coaching where the NFL's going. Are you fucking kidding me? Why? Because one call from Peyton Manning? Anybody could have told you this is ass backwards. Robert Saleh, again, he had his thing. You guys remember, I wasn't a big Robert Saleh guy. That out of the guys we interviewed, I was Team Dable. But the truth is, I wanted the guy from I wanted Fitzpatrick from Northwestern, or who's the guy from Iowa State? I can never, I can. State football coach. Hold on. Yeah, Matt Campbell. Now, he wasn't coming to the NFL, so it is what it is. And Fitzpatrick wasn't either. So that's who I wanted. And then my other guy was Greg Roman, but he wasn't interviewed. So it was like, out of the guys we interviewed, I didn't want Arthur Smith. I didn't want any of these guys. I didn't want Robert Saleh. I wanted Dable. It is what it is. But you could tell Robert Saleh came here. He was all lip service, man. And he needed tons of first-round picks to make his defense worth a shit. As soon as you lose one guy, Quinnen will go down for fucking a game and everything's different. Why? Because his defense is predicated on one-on-one battles. It's the whole defense. There is no disguising. There's no mixing it up. There's no, just is what it is. His guys got to beat your guys. And if the front four can get pressure, then the rest of the defense looks good. And how do you do that? You get first-round picks. At one point, he had 7 first-round picks on the defensive line. And now, granted, some of them were a little older and hadn't lived up to first-round status, but he had Jermaine Johnson, Quinnen Williams, Solomon Thomas, fucking Javon Kinlaw, Hassan Reddick, Tack McKinley, Will McDonald. Like, these are all first-round picks. And then you add Sauce Gardner, first-round pick. You know, CJ Mosley, who was there first round. You needed all that stuff. So, anyway, with that said, guys, let's get on out of here. Jake says, play as well against Buffalo and lose, I'm happy. Well, happy, I don't know if I'd be happy. But I'm expecting to lose this game. So what would make me feel better is what you're saying. Like, if we come out and it's a 31-28 kind of a thing, and it's a tight game and it's just competitive and we're outclassed. Okay. I just don't want to see a 31-10 drubbing. And by the third quarter, we already know the game's over. That's what I'm hoping, you know? But, you know, with that said, guys, I'm ending this bad boy. Please don't forget to like the video on your way out. Squeeze the milk down. Hit the like button. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. It's a great way to support the channel. Don't forget about our sponsor, Sleeper, everybody, where the link is in the description of this very video. Don't forget to use the promo code GreenBean, and you'll get that $100 deposit match. And you can win up to 100 times your money on the Sleeper app, the home of fantasy football and all the other fun stuff. It's a great thing. I'm grateful they're sponsoring us this year. It's going to be a fun year, especially once we get into the game streams. But guys, have a great rest of your night. Let me close you out with a couple. Let's do this. I'll close you out with a couple. Let's start with this one. All right, I got him. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you next time.
Colbert is the one down on the field making the catch, and that collision with Ryan Thomas. Injury timeout.